Welcome to ACTV Newsmakers. We are on location once again. This time we are at the offices of Addison Township. The Addison Township Foundation and a number of organizations throughout the township have grouped together to offer their Giving Tree program for needy families throughout Addison Township. It's taken a number of months. The culmination is happening right now as gifts are being brought in here to the Township building at 401 North Addison Road. Coming up, we're going to be talking with Addison Township Supervisor Reboletti about the Giving Tree program and the people who have been assisting these families throughout our community to have a much brighter holiday season. Dennis, I see a lot of what looks like Santa's workshop going on here, right?
It is. Our township elves have been very busy, Don.
Yeah. Tell us what this is all about, this Giving Tree activity that the township has been involved in.
So I've been supervisor almost 8 years, and we took over the Giving Tree program that many people in Addison remember, had been around for a long time. And what you see behind us is all the help that we've received from a number of people in the community that would be dispersed next week as we help needy families throughout all of Addison Township.
In general, is the need greater than perhaps the past 8 years that you've been witnessing it here as supervisor?
You know, it seems very difficult this year, and we can always tell because not only are there a number of families up, but the amount of people that have that extra money to help out seems to be going down. Just like we've seen food donations down, we've also seen gift donations down. So what happens is that our township and our township foundation have stepped up to fill the gap.
Who generally are you receiving gift donations from? And this is kind of the tag system where people take a tag. So where are these items that are being donated, where are they coming from?
So St. Philip's here in Addison, as well as District 88. And so my staff contacts schools, middle school and grade schools throughout the township, and they talk to them in September, and they find out through the social workers what families are in need, that are having some hardships. They put the list together, and then we start to work with the different groups, as well as our foundation, other people that donate.
Can you tell us about how many families you'll be able to assist through the Giving Tree program this year? And we're talking about all of Addison Township that you're serving through this program.
Correct. So you're talking about all the communities, all 8 communities. We have about 300 families that have been identified, and those folks will be coming through next week to collect these items. And we will also be giving them holiday food, a turkey, the sides, as well as groceries.
Mm-hmm. And of course, each family, the dynamics are different, the needs are different. You might have families that have 1 or 2 children, some a little bit more, and you'd like to meet as many of those needs as possible, I would imagine.
Absolutely. So you have young children, we have people all the way up to high school. So depending on what those requests are from the families, it could be toys, a lot of it's clothes. You'll see some gift cards in there so the older kids can go buy what they want, which is a lot easier. But if you look around here, you'll see a number of different things that are being put together for those families.
What's a challenge, Dennis, in doing this type of program? Is it the outreach early on or in the fall, or is it getting this all coordinated here today? It looks pretty organized to me. What are some of the challenges you've faced this year, maybe as opposed to previous years?
I think part of it is getting the donations. I think the other challenge has always been to we start talking about this stuff in the summertime, so it's always odd when we start to say, sure, what's the next 6 months look like? And we're like, well, September we reach out to the schools and we begin that process around Labor Day. So that process is constantly moving. So for the last couple months here, we've been in full swing with this. And this is the culmination behind us here of all the fruits of the labor of my staff.
Right. When you kind of make that outreach, are people pretty receptive to this idea, even if it is in September and they're not really thinking about holiday season?
They are, because we do contact these caseworkers in the schools, ask that these families be identified. It isn't always a financial hardship. We have families with disabled children or some other temporary financial needs that are just need a hand up. And so we identify those families, and it's a lot easier to work with them earlier on to identify them so we can begin the process of putting everything together.
Now, will you do a kind of accounting and after event? In other words, sort of a debrief as to what went well? Are we getting all of the families that need to be? We always talk about these things ahead of time, but we don't really hear about what happens afterwards. And I would imagine there's probably some sort of, let's assess how things went. Did we get all the families that we needed to get to? Who are some of the people that maybe we should be approaching next year, for example?
Yeah,
that?
That's the thing we always do at the end of every year. What have we been doing that's working? What are we not doing? Who are we leaving behind? Who else can be reaching out to? So I know I've mentioned it to the church group, and I've met with the mayor a couple months ago. Again, it's always trying to identify those families. And part of our issue is there are families in need who don't want the help, or they're concerned about asking for the help. And so we want to make sure that every family understands here in Addison Township that we have the ability and capability to help them. You just have to go ahead and ask. I know that's always difficult, but we want to make sure that everyone has a great Christmas.
Mm-hmm. While we have you here, maybe some updates on a couple of things. First of all, how's it going with the Secretary of State's office? I see a lot of cars here just about every day. So it's been about a year now, right?
It's about a year. It started out with maybe 25 people a day, then it was 50. We are now up to 200 people a day are coming through our process here. And all we've heard so far from the Secretary of State employees and the residents that come through is that nothing but positive things to say. Easy, pleasant experience to get in and out, to get that real ID, to come get your sticker. It's working very well.
Yeah, are they still doing it by appointment only?
They are doing it by appointment only, but now they've got the appointments on the 10 minutes. And if you have an issue with getting an appointment, just call our township offices. We like to work with the Secretary of State to make sure, especially our seniors, are able to get in and get processed through.
We also talked to you some months ago when the Mental Health Board was getting up and running about a youth drop-in center, and you had some plans for what sounded like some construction and infrastructure work happening at the township building. Can you update any of that?
That's funny that you asked, because I said I'm going to ask you back next year to show you some of the construction that's happening.
Okay.
We've signed an agreement with the Alive Center. That's the group that we're franchising with. And we received a $90,000 grant to cover 2 years of the franchise agreement. And we are beginning that process of changing walls, cutting walls out, and redesigning the area so that it can accommodate students. We assume a soft opening probably in the spring with a full-time opening in the summer.
Now, do you think that something like this project, the Giving Tree, and that drop-in initiative, is there the potential for maybe some collaboration working with families? Maybe you'll identify families, maybe you'll identify donors. I mean, do you see, kind of thinking down the road a little bit here, do you see some engagement opportunities with them?
Yes, because the hope is that the children that do come here, that they will open up, talk to our counselors, talk to the mentors. We're hoping to give a lot of the high school students here in Addison, at Addison Trail, volunteer, and establish relationships with these young children that if they do need any assistance, or their families do, that we can collaborate with them, either from mental health issues or counseling or family problems or anything else that may be going on, as well as issues with housing and food.
Mm-hmm. How about the food pantry? I know you were struggling to get the needed dollars to come in. Did that get worked out with DuPage County, or do you have a status on that?
No, so we're still working. We're spending about $10,000 a month. We're at about 200 families a week. The money from the federal government has dried up, and we're working with our county board members right now. There is some additional resources, and we're hoping to capture that for food for moving forward.
So you still have to rely on your local resources and local dollars at this point?
We right now are using mostly tax dollars that we pass through to our foundation, that we can buy some stuff from the Northern Illinois Food Bank. There's almost nothing available, so we're actually getting most of our stuff from Sam's Club here in town.
Oh, yeah, well, you're shopping locally.
We are shopping
Probably
locally.
A good thing. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Any other updates on things that we haven't talked about? That, like I said, the township. I've never seen it more alive, probably in the last several months than I've seen it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. We also have Serenity House moved in. Their ROSC program has some staffers here to allow them some extra space over there. And our vet center is entering its 7th year of being here. Catherine Savage, who is our vice chair of our mental health board, still offers counseling free here for veterans.
For veterans, okay. Oh, very good. Well, that's good to know. And I suppose if people have questions on any of these areas that we've covered, the best thing to do is reach out directly to Addison Township offices.
AddisonTownship.com. You can go check out our new website. It's been refreshed. And the phone number to reach any of us is 630-530-8161.
Dennis Reboletti, the Supervisor of Addison Township, thanks for talking with us today. Good luck with the Township's Giving Tree program, and have a very nice holiday season.
Thank you, Don. Merry Christmas to everybody.
From the Addison Township offices, I'm Don Weiss. Thank you for joining us on ACTV Newsmakers.